Highway to Health is U.S. Xpress's corporate wellness program. All company employees are eligible to participate. Our wellness program is based on a points system. You can earn points by completing a variety of healthy tasks and participating in a bi-monthly, company-wide health challenge. Once you earn 600 points, you receive $400. Highway to Health encourages you to be healthy and pays you for doing so. In addition to the point system, Highway to Health provides a variety of health and wellness resources to employees in the form of newsletters, community events, informative presentations, exercise programming, and much more. So here's how you can earn points. By logging your exercise 3 times a week for 12 weeks, you can earn 100 points. If you log your food with a calorie count 5 days a week for 12 weeks, then you can also earn 100 points. Getting a physical each year is worth 100 points. Sharing a success story, 100 points. Completing the Quit Power Tobacco Cessation program is worth 100 points. If you become CPR certified, that's worth 100 points. And each time you renew your certification, then you can gain an additional 50 points. Participating in a bi-monthly health challenge is worth 50 points. Taking your blood pressure 12 times a month will get you 20 points. Participating in a run, bicycle race, or sports league is worth 25 points. If you donate blood, then that's worth 25 points as well. The program guidelines that were just discussed can be accessed in employee self-service. Simply log in, click the Wellness tab at the top of the page. For more information about Highway to Health, email wellness@usxpress.com.
Welcome to the Xpress Workout Instructional video. The purpose of this video is to educate you on how to structure a workout, how to perform basic lifts and cardiovascular exercises, and how to get the most out of your exercise routine. The exercises shown to you in this video can all be modified for a beginning exerciser and can all be performed at home, outside, or wherever you may be. First, let's discuss how to structure an exercise program. The American College of Sports Medicine has developed the following recommendations for adults. 30 to 60 minutes of moderate intensity cardiovascular exercise 5 days per week. In fact, the more cardio you can achieve each week, the healthier you will be. Examples of cardiovascular exercise include walking, jogging, biking, and swimming. 2 to 3 days of strength training per week. These days are to be non-consecutive, which means that you need to rest a day in between days that you lift weights. 2 to 3 days of flexibility or stretching per week. Flexibility is a component of physical fitness that is often neglected. However, it is incredibly important to help increase your range of motion and to help you carry out your daily activities with ease. Stretching is best implemented on the days that you are strength training and best done after you strength train. This helps alleviate any soreness that may occur as a result of lifting weights. Now that you know your weekly recommendations, let's discuss the order of these components. First, you should always begin with a warm-up. A warm-up prepares the body for exercise in a safe and gradual manner. A warm-up can consist of a variety of movements, but is most easily done by brisk walking. It should last 3 to 5 minutes or until you feel an increase in your heart rate and the onset of perspiration. Secondly, strength training or resistance training is done after the warm-up. As stated previously, strength training isn't done every day. You need a day of rest in between. However, on days that you do lift weights, you need to do so after your body is adequately warm. Additionally, when strength training, exercises should be performed from largest muscle group to smallest muscle group. You don't have to be an expert to apply this principle. For example, your back muscles are larger than your biceps, so you would want to work them in that order. Resistance training builds the muscle in 2 ways: muscular strength and muscular endurance. Both are equally important. Strength is important in preventing injuries, and endurance is important in that it allows you to perform the same task continuously. If you're wanting to build muscular strength, you need to perform 8 to 12 repetitions of each exercise per set. If you're wanting to build muscular endurance, you need to perform 15 to 20 repetitions of each exercise per set. 1 set equals X number of reps. Try to perform 3 to 4 sets of each exercise. After the warm-up and the strength training comes the cardio. This is where you walk, jog, or whatever you choose for 30 to 60 minutes. Keep in mind that your cardio can be broken up into smaller segments. For example, 3 sessions of 10 minutes can be done to total 30 minutes. It's important that you strength train before you do your cardio to minimize risks of injury. So remember, weights before cardio. Once the cardio is complete, it is important to stretch your muscles while they're still warm. Muscles are warm after having just performed moderate physical activity. Stretching only needs to be done 2 to 3 times per week per the recommendations that were already mentioned. Each stretch should be held for 10 to 30 seconds and performed 2 to 4 times each. Lastly, the cool down is equally as important as all the other components of the routine. By properly cooling down, the heart rate has a chance to return to its resting state in a gradual manner, as opposed to abruptly dropping. A cool down can be done by walking slowly and taking deep breaths in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Like the warm-up, the cool down should also last 3 to 5 minutes. To recap what was just discussed, the order of a properly structured workout is as follows: warm-up, strength training, cardio, stretch, and cool down. We'll now take each of these components and demonstrate exercises that correspond to each, in addition to discussing modifications and safety regarding each move. Exercises to warm up the body. The most common exercise to warm up the body is brisk walking. When walking, make sure that you drive through the heels and then push through the toes. Power should come from a braced core. Momentum should be maintained by carefully swinging the arms. High knees. Start by standing with your feet slightly wider than your hips. Alternate pulling the knees to the chest and add a hop in between. For a modified version, eliminate the hop and simply alternate pulling the knees to the chest and returning the feet flat onto the floor. Jumping jacks. Start by standing with your feet directly underneath your hips and your arms down by your sides. As you jump with wide legs, raise the arms up by the head and return them to your sides. For a modified version, eliminate the jump. Keep the arms moving and kick your feet out to the side, alternating them one at a time. Hamstring curls. Begin these in a wide stance. As you alternate your legs, kick the heel straight back while bending the knee. Work side to side. These can be performed as they are without need for modifications. Calf raises. Begin with your feet directly underneath your hips. Simply rise up onto your toes and lift your heels off the ground. Pause at the top and return your heels to the ground. This exercise warms up the calf muscles in the lower part of your leg. Trunk twists. Start this move with a slightly wide stance. Keeping the elbows bent at 90 degrees, slowly rotate the body from side to side. This exercise is best done while bracing your midsection to protect the back. It warms up your lower back, spinal column, and midsection. Large muscle groups. Remember that when exercising, you should aim to work in the order of large muscle groups to smaller muscle groups. This segment will cover the larger muscles of the legs, chest, and back. Squats. This exercise targets your butt and thighs. Begin your squat by standing in a wide stance position or having your feet wider than your hips. Make sure that your toes are pointed out slightly. Bend the knees and lower the body toward the ground by sitting back on your heels. Make sure you keep your head up and your chest up. This exercise can be modified by squatting against your truck or a wall and holding for 10 to 20 seconds each. Lunges. This exercise targets your thighs, butt, and hamstrings, which are the back of your legs. Begin with your feet directly underneath your hips. Choose which leg you want to work first. Then step that leg directly back from where it is. Although your back leg should be decently far back behind you, your legs should also still be wide enough that you are able to keep your balance. Unlike the name, you are actually not lunging forward. Rather, you are dropping the back knee and then returning to the start position by driving through the back toe. When the knee is dropped down, you should have a 90-degree bend in the front knee and a 90-degree bend in the back knee. Lunges can be done with or without weights. If you're using weights, it's best to hold them down by your sides. If you're not using weights, place your hands on your hips for added stability. Straight leg raises. For this exercise, the hamstrings are targeted. This exercise can be done using body weight or handheld weights. Begin by standing with feet directly below hips. If using weights, hold them using an overhand grip and place them directly in front of the thighs. Brace your core and pin your shoulders back. This eliminates the possibility of your shoulders slumping over, and it keeps you from straining your back. Begin by tipping over at the hips, letting the weights travel down the legs. Keep the weights close to the legs to eliminate low back strain. As you keep a flat back, lower down until you feel the stretch in the back of the leg, or until your back is flat. Return to starting position for 1 rep. Push-ups. Push-ups target the chest wall as well as the backs of the arms. For this demonstration, wide grip push-ups are shown. Although this exercise is preferentially performed by positioning up on the toes, a modified version can be done by positioning on the knees. From there, your hips should be low and in line with your back. Head should be facing down, hands down, and fingers forward. Keeping the body stable, bend the elbows to lower the body toward the floor. The elbows should be lowered to 90 degrees or an L shape. Breathing is especially important during this exercise as many people often hold their breath. Inhale deeply as you lower toward the floor, then exhale as you are pushing back up to start. Push through the hands to return the body to starting position. Forward-facing fly. This exercise is done by laying flat on your back. Knees should be bent with feet flat on the floor. Using handheld weights, begin by holding the weights above you with arms extended and palms facing each other. Lower the arms out to your sides, but be sure to keep a slight bend in the elbow in order to not hyperextend your arms. Keep lowering the arms until you feel the stretch, and then bring them together back to the starting position. Remember to breathe, inhaling as the arms lower to your sides, and exhaling as you return them to your starting position. This movement should be felt in your chest. Bent row. For this back exercise, start with a wide stance. You'll need to bend your knees as well as your hips. Your weight should be shifted forward in the balls of your feet. Ensure that your back is not rounded by bracing your abdominals. Keep the shoulders pinned back and the head in line with your spine. Weights are held in front of the body and drawn in by pulling your elbows straight back along your sides. As you pull the weights or resistance band back, squeeze your shoulder blades together to target the movement appropriately. When lowering the weights back to starting position, keep them controlled. Don't let the weights snap your arms forward. A bent row targets your upper back, shoulders, and biceps. Seated row. This exercise is done by using a resistance band. Start by sitting on the ground with legs together and straight out in front of you. Loop the resistance band around your feet, making sure it's in the middle of your shoe to prevent slippage. Take a deep breath in to set the upper body into position for exercise. Roll the shoulders back and brace the core. From there, pull the handles of the band straight toward your stomach. Elbows will come straight back. Similar to the previous exercise, don't let the band pull your arms back. Rather, control the movement as you return to start. The upper body, aside from the arms, should remain completely straight throughout this exercise. The only part that should be moving is the elbows. Pull down. A resistance band is also needed for this exercise. You will need to find something tall to loop the band over because you will be pulling it down toward your body. Position yourself in a seated position with knees bent slightly and feet flat on the floor. Grasp the handles in an overhanded position. Pull the handles down toward your body while squeezing the shoulder blades together. When doing so, the handles should also be pulled wide. This exercise targets the shoulders and upper back. Small muscle groups. The following exercises target the smaller sized muscle groups of the body. These exercises should be performed after working your larger muscle groups. Calf raises. This exercise targets the two muscles in the lower portion of your legs, known as your calves. It is simply done by standing with feet directly below hips, lifting up on the toes, pausing at the top, and returning to start position. This move can be done with or without handheld weights. The regular calf raise is the modified version of this exercise. Overhead press. For this shoulder exercise, start with a split stance by placing one foot slightly back from its original starting position. This helps eliminate sway and gives the upper body more stability. Starting position for the weight should be at chin height. Weight should be held with palms facing forward. Drive through the palms and press the weight straight overhead, then carefully lower them to starting position. The key to this exercise is maintaining appropriate posture by keeping the core braced. Flutter arms. This is another shoulder exercise that uses the natural weight of the arms for resistance. Use a wide stance and hold your arms straight out from the sides of your body. Begin fluttering the arms up and down in a very small range of motion, simply moving a few inches in each direction. Maintain this motion for 20 seconds before resting. Tricep dips. For this exercise, you'll need a stable surface to prop up on. Start in a seated position, hands to the sides, fingers forward, gripping the surface you're sitting on. With feet flat on the floor, walk your body out so that your butt is no longer supported by the surface you were sitting on. Bend the elbows to lower the body toward the ground. Pushing through the wrists, return the body to the starting position. The modified version of this is done by keeping both feet flat on the floor and assuming a tabletop position. The level of difficulty can be increased by the positioning of your feet. Propping up on your heels makes the move more difficult, and stacking your feet makes it the most difficult. Tricep kickbacks. This movement utilizes a small handheld weight to isolate the back of the arm. Additionally, each arm is worked one at a time. Position yourself on the ground by propping up on your knees and propping up on the non-working hand. The arm that is working needs to be placed in position by holding the elbow in line with the shoulder. The elbow needs to remain in that position while the rest of the arm is working. Starting position is an L shape. From there, straighten the arm out into an I shape. Slowly and carefully return the arm back to position and avoid swinging. The correct version of this exercise is very slow and precise. You will know you're doing the exercise correctly when you feel it in the back of the arm. Curls. Prepare for this bicep exercise by standing in a split stance with one foot slightly farther back than its original starting point. Hold the weights in your hands with palms facing forward in an open-faced position. Bend the elbows to bring the weights in toward the shoulders. Then lower the weights slowly and carefully to their starting point. In this exercise, the movement of lowering the weights down is just as important as curling them up. Make an effort not to swing the weights. If you can't perform the exercise without swinging the weights, you're probably lifting too much weight. Strength for the movement should come from the core. Plank. This abdominal isolation can be performed in a variety of ways. The easiest and most modified way to perform this exercise is by positioning yourself against the wall or against your truck. Feet need to be placed far back enough so that you have to lean into the wall or truck. Bend the elbows slightly, tuck them in by your sides, and hold this position for 20 to 30 seconds. Other variations of this exercise can be done by positioning on your knees, toes, hands, and elbows. This includes any combination of the aforementioned. Cardiovascular exercises. This section will highlight alternative methods of exercising your heart. These exercises can be included in between sets of your strength training or done on their own. These intervals are designed to be done at maximum intensity for a short duration, specifically 20 to 30 seconds each, with 10 to 15 seconds of rest in between. Jog in place. This exercise is as simple as it sounds. For modifications, simply jog slower until your cardiovascular fitness increases over time. When you revisit this exercise, try increasing the pace as you become more fit. Jump rope. An imaginary jump rope is used for this exercise. Holding hands out to the side, make small circles with the wrist as if you were turning a jump rope, and begin jumping lightly on your toes. Keep the knees soft and land gently on the balls of your feet, keeping your heels off the ground. This exercise can be modified by eliminating the jump and stepping lightly in place. Jumping jacks. Begin with your feet directly below your hips and your arms down by your side. As you jump your feet into a wide stance, at the same time lift the arms in a half moon shape above the head. Return to starting position by jumping the feet back in and lowering the arms at the same time. This exercise can also be modified by eliminating the jump. Simply keep the arms moving and kick the legs out, alternating sides, perching the feet up on the heels. High knees. Start this move by standing with your feet directly below your hips. Bend the knee of your right leg and bring the knee in toward the chest. Repeat on the left side and continue alternating legs. This is the modified version of this exercise. An advanced move of this exercise includes adding a hop into the move. Speed walking. This exercise is self-explanatory and can be done outdoors or on a treadmill. Squat jumps. Squat jumps are a great way to improve cardiovascular endurance as well as muscular endurance in the legs. Start in a wide stance with toes pointed out slightly. Lower the body by bending the knees and sitting back on the heels. From there, drive explosively through the toes, springing up into the air. Land softly and keep repeating. For a modified version of this exercise, take out the jump. Start in wide stance, lower down into a squat, and lift up through the toes, raising the arms in the air, and keep repeating. Cooldown. The cooldown is equally as important as the warm-up. The cooldown allows the heart rate to gradually return to normal. It keeps the blood from pooling in the feet, which can cause dizziness. Additionally, incorporating stretching as part of a cooldown helps to increase your range of motion in your joints and also helps to prevent injury. To cool the body down after exercise, walk slowly for 3 to 5 minutes, incorporating deep breathing. As always, breathing should be performed by inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. The following is a stretch routine that encompasses all major muscle groups of the body. Take a deep breath in through the nose, raise the arms over the head. Exhale deeply and return the arms to your sides. Repeat that. This time, in returning down, fold over at the hips and reach for the toes. Be sure to allow the head to fall completely forward to release tension in the neck. If you can't reach the toes, reach for what is closest, thighs or ankles. Hold the stretch here briefly. Roll the body up spine first to alleviate tension in the back. Once you return to the starting position, straighten the right leg and position the right foot on its heel. This leg should be completely straight. Bend the left knee and rest down on it. Hold. Switch and repeat the same movement on the left leg. Stand up completely straight. Pull the heel of the right foot in toward the gluteal muscles. Be sure to keep the knees together and the upper body straight. You should feel a stretch in the thigh of the bent leg. Repeat the stretch on the opposite leg. To stretch the inner thigh, widen your stance. Lean over to one knee and hold. Other leg should be held completely straight. Switch to the other side and hold. To stretch the low back and the inner thigh, widen your stance, placing hands on the inside of your knees. Flex over at the hips, reach down, and then roll up spine first. For a side body stretch, lower the right arm down the side, bringing the left arm up and over the head. Repeat on the other side. For a shoulder stretch, bring the left arm straight across the body and hold it with the right arm. This is a stretch to target your shoulders. After holding briefly, switch arms. Round the arms out while keeping the elbows wide. You should feel separation in between the shoulder blades. From there, make fists with your hands, pull the elbows back, and squeeze for a chest stretch. Hold. Working up the body into the neck, lower the left ear to the left shoulder and hold. Lift the head back up to neutral position and lower it to the other side. Be sure never to roll the head or the neck. Try to go through this routine 2 times per week to alleviate muscular tension and to increase your flexibility.
Lastly, it should be noted that healthy weight loss is approximately 2 pounds per week. Any weight loss over that amount could indicate a metabolic condition and should be reported to your doctor. Healthy weight loss can be achieved by eating a proper diet and exercising. Having one without the other will make weight loss or maintenance more difficult. If you're exercising regularly, that is at least 3 times a week, but preferably more, you should begin to see noticeable results in 8 to 12 weeks. In 4 to 6 weeks, you should be able to see noticeable reductions in your resting blood pressure and heart rate. Long term, you will notice increased energy, improved mental health, and possibly eliminate the need for some routine medications you may be taking. We hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please contact the Wellness Department at headquarters for any clarification on information that has been presented.